Our final speaker for the session is going to be Bryson Bort from Scythe. It's probably the best shirt of any of the speakers today.
All right, well, at least I got that down. Good morning. So I'm Bryson Bort, and there's probably only two things you need to know about me. One, I have an offensive security background, and two, I was an Army officer, which means that you're going to get very simple words, very simple concepts. If you want smart and complex, talk to Blake or somebody like Sunil who's actually got a brain. Oh, wow, that changes. So in terms of thinking of things simple, I was one of many folks who was stumped yesterday when we got the questions and they said, go to the MITRE attack framework out there and put your pin to something. And I sat there and I looked at it for about 10 minutes. I'd be like, that one. Oh, wait, but I forgot about that one. Because there's so much. And I overheard several folks talking about the challenge with implementing this into our environment because we're talking about operationalizing it. I mean, it's great to have wonderful intellectual frameworks to think about. It's nice to have huge results in a lab, but what we want is something that changes things in the real world. And so the value that I think of when I think of the attack framework starts with, it's like the periodic table. It's a simple group of elements that allows us to all talk between each other in a common vernacular. On top of that, if we combine them, we can create complex equations and complex compounds that allows all of us to understand that. But at the same time, it's something that is still common so that a layperson can follow what we're doing. Going back to what the NCC group did, right? Most of us are offensive, and because of that, we are offensive to our customers. I know, that one was not as good. Now, there we go. So I simplify this as the potential attack space is there is an infinite number of ways to gain access. I can gain access through technical means. I can gain access through social means. I can gain access through insider threat, close access. There's an unlimited ways to gain access. Once I gain access, really it comes down to two things. I need to be able to talk, and I need to be able to do things. And if we look at that, then the MITRE attack framework provides us a confined attack space where we know that that is where the attacker is talking in some form and then doing certain things to their advantage. Keeping in mind, we only care about the things that affect us. If an attacker gets on a computer and plays Minecraft, we don't care. We care when they're stealing credentials. We care when they're doing different kinds of privilege escalation and they're doing the things that they can actually accomplish, either stealing or harm to us. And so the way that I've mapped the communications and behaviors back in is those high levels of the MITRE attack framework are really just those pieces. So where's the breakdown? Because we've got threat intelligence that has so much promise. We've heard some talks today that were talking about how do we create detection paths and how do we do different things to bring this into our environment. And the challenge that I see is I don't see any cyber threat intelligence that actually allows us to just automatically consume it. Giving a shout out to Palo Alto Unit 42 with the adversary playbooks, that's the closest I've seen where they're starting to look at how do we update sticks, how do we turn this into something where it is the red informing the blue to have a purple effect. But the threat intelligence is not automatically there. If you look at threat intelligence, we get a lot of ephemeral IOCs, and we get things where we can manually scrape it, but there hasn't yet been anything that automatically pulls that. Imagine that. If I could just have a catalog that is updated constantly, and then I'm able to run that through my detections without having to manually parse that. That's something I think the industry needs to move to. The other challenge we have is while the MITRE attack framework does a really good job of providing us this wide range of behaviors, and an overall framework of understanding, isn't there that goal that we all want to just be able to go, I completely got this block across my organization? But why can't we do that? And the reason that we can't do that is that tension of when you actually start to look at where the bits meet the road, there's an infinite number of ways to do any one of those particular things. So I just called out two examples here of like where we're talking about binary padding, right? Binary padding would be the behavior, but there's two explicit ways to do that among many, and among many more. And so what we need to find is a way to both look at the MITRE attack framework, not only as that vernacular, but also as a driving ability to how do we constantly match that tension of an overall behavior detection, and then at the same time, not missing out the fact that we're talking about complex computers and finite state machines, and how does that actually happen down there at the bottom? Thank you.